Welcome back. In the previous video, we created multi-agent system, but our development or advancements in these AI agent systems didn't stop there. So we will be adding more advanced options, more advanced features or multi-agent system to make it more compatible with real life scenarios, real life use cases. So in this video, we will be adding tools to our multi-agent system to make it more advanced. So we will be adding web search file, not file search, but you can also add it if you're working on your local computer. In our case, we're working right now on Google Colab, which is a virtual environment. Anyway, and you do also have some computer tool that allows you automate the computer use tasks, which is amazing. Kind of resembles the cloud's computer tool that controls the web browser and stuff. So, but for this video, I will be adding some internal tools that is provided by OpenAI. So these are the hosted tools. These are like it says here, a few built-in tools when using the OpenAI responses model. By the way, the responses models API is also new. We're not using chat completion here, so you can see these are the locks, and there are two different sections underneath the lock tab, the lock section, which the first one is completion, the second one is responses. And the entire process, we're using actually GPT-4o. This model is actually GPT-4o 2024. And the responses were just saving the entire log that comes from this multi-agent system here underneath the log section, beneath the responses, the tab, as you can see. We're also using the brand new feature, brand new tool from OpenAI. All right, without further ado, let's just get started. So in the previous video, we created this. We have the guardrail, we have the math tutor, history tutor, and we do also have some handoff description and instructions for the tutors, for each tutor that we have built in, that we have natively adapted to the multi-agent system. But now we'll be adding some. By the way, before we deep dive into the new system, here you can see you can also give some instructions about the output, because for the history tutor agent, I just wanted to see I just wanted to see the output in this template, so I just gave an instruction. Okay, so you guys are familiar with the previous agent system, so this one will be actually more advanced when we compare it to the previous one. So here's you can see we have the guardrail again, and we also have some locks. These are the locks to just save the entire locks, the entire responses from model to directly to the playground, so we can see better with the better UI. And where is the creating traces? Traces should be around here. There you go. Where's traces? Let me just look it up. There you go. With the trace, I'm just creating a new trace, but I already have a trace, so it just gives a warning. But you can easily just close the warning to in order to avoid that. This was my session with trace session, homework helper session, which means session 002, start time this, which means I will be adding the entire log to the same trace that I created yesterday, that I created in the previous video. So before we deep dive into the traces, I need to explain how that works, how the other agent works with the tools. Here, as you can see, guys, math tutor agent. Now we're defining the agent with the name math tutor and handoff descriptions to actually introduce it to our triage agent, which is a controller that chooses the agents within our agent pool, right? Because we do have several agents. So triage agent comes to play and choose the best match for the user's input. So handoff description for the triage and instructions. We do have some instructions too. You can modify it. For this case, I just need to see some step-by-step solutions for the math problems, include examples, current explanations. You can add something here, kind of like show me also some example problems for the literature actually. So different point, the difference that we have here, and compared to the previous one, tools. Now we have the web search tool too. If you ask something so actual, like some problem that is floating around on social media on Twitter and stuff, like, and going viral in the last week, so you can ask it, and the model's knowledge base is actually doesn't have that problem because it's gone viral and it's a new problem just floating around on social media. But we can avoid any inconvenient situations with the help of web search tool, because the web search tool will be just searching for the problem that just popped up like yesterday or the last week, and found the problem, and just will be providing step-by-step solution for the actual up-to-date new math problem, which is amazing. And when it comes to history tutor agent, I also added some new tools, several tools actually. You can do that. A web search tool, fetch the weather. Why fetch the weather? Because historical events with the context and example, use the tool to enhance answers needed. And like if I wanted to know how the weather was during D-Day, so this agent is able to answer it because it will be just searching on web if needed and fetching the weather to get the weather data. And if I wanted to get some citations for my research, it was also generating some citations for me too, which is amazing. Generate an MLA citation for historical source, which is amazing. Now, I do have some several tools for an agent. For one agent, you can also add some more tools here too for the math tutor. But I just added the history tutor. It's okay for me. Enough for this case. All right, we do have some home guardrail too to just specify to distinguish the distinguish the inputs from users if the inputs are homework related or not. And our triage agent, which is actually the controller. Think of like an ultimate agent, or the just like let's just say supervisor agent, and determine the appropriate tutor based on the homework question. This is my favorite guy. And we do also have some handoffs and guardrails. We're just using the guardrails to specify, to distinguish, to classify the input, user's input. And this is a display output. Like I said in the previous video, you guys can easily modify it according to your wish, because this content, HTML content, looks great. So if you don't like how it looks, you can easily change it. It's up to you. And what we have here is the main function, putting it all together underneath the main function, and we're ready to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get started. Let's just click that button here to see how that works. All right, welcome to the enhanced homework helper. I'll be asking, how was the weather during the day? And please make a citation. All right, perfect. So this is just a warning. You can easily avoid it by just using warnings library, or just not creating a new trace by just using that. I forgot to do that. It's not a big deal. All right, so right now, how was the weather during the D-Day? And please make a citation, because I do also have some citation tools here. Let me just show you guys. There you go. Citation agent as tool. We do have citation agent as tool. Actually, we're using another agent as tool. All right. So create an element. Here's an example of citation title, book title, article, and let's just check it if the tool did run. There you go. So there are different. Here's you can see. I just asked one thing, but in the response to the response, is actually choose to continue with the history tutor. Then, as a consecutive step to just choosing history tutor, we also specified the new next step, which is continuing with the citation agent. Here's you can see. I just asked. It checks if if the input from user is homework related, is not triggered. It didn't trigger, so which means it's actually homework related. So this is my input. Where is the input? How was the weather during the D-Day? And please make a citation, right? So the arguments here is just transferring to the history tutor, which is correct. Then it's hands off right now. The history tutors comes to play to help us out, and this is the history tutor's response. And history tutor, this is the response from history tutor, and let's make a citation for historical information. Now we're calling a function, and how that works actually, because of the thanks to the tools that were added to the AI agent, now it's able to call some functions. So this is the function call from the generating citation from the citation agent. So generate citation function is just now calling. This is the description rather provided. So please provide specific publications. All right, but the function didn't work because the moment I saw the response, I actually knew that something is wrong. But the problem is not about the system, because actually function did it triggered. Here's a kind of the trigger function triggered, and the generate citation is also working. The function is also working without any problems. But the response, the provided source, is actually wrong. So we will be also giving some more content for the generate and citation function to make it able to create some citations. All right. So the citation agent comes to play and see the response from the function tool. All right, and then it just gives its own output. This is a function called too. So here you can see, with only one input from users, we are able to run several agents in a consecutive order. First, history comes to play just to specify what's happening about the inputs, user's input. Then, if needed, the function is being called, and now we're just handing off to another citation agent, which we have here within the system. We do also have we have actually an agent as a tool, which is also amazing. And we can also check the logs. There you go. Now we're not using any completions models. And in the updates video, OpenAI has actually mentioned they're not gonna cut their support for completions model. They're gonna continue improving the completions model too. But at some point in 2026 or 2025, I don't remember the exact date, but they're just gonna cut their support and improvements for the completions model. For the responses will be the only choice for us. So I'm just adapting myself and just adapting the entire system that I create now to responses model. So as you can see, these are the responses that I just got from this one. Let me just say exit. So there you go. This is the input and this is the output, and this is the model just being used and created the dates. And you can also see some other logs. Oops. And if you click that, you can actually, all right, it's about me. Function call. There you go. If you also filter for the function call, and these are the function calls here for the generation, create a generation, we're just specifying the functions to make it able to make it compatible with the entire multi-agent system. So these are the models that you're using, and you can also specify for the data and metadata. And if it's a function call, a computer call, the web search, you can also specify them too, which is amazing. This one is actually one of the best updates so far from OpenAI. I really loved it. All right, that was it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one.